So I want to make this quick, but I just want to go through a quick video here on how do you get the actual regression line. It's kind of like a best fit line, something that you've used in the past. I'm guessing you have. Um, and there are ways to do this by hand, but it's insanely crazy to try and do it by hand. So technology is a really good way of doing this. So I just want to talk about how do you get the best fit line, the regression line for a scatter plot. And, in so doing, you'll also get the correlation coefficient. So here's a couple things. First off, though, I want you to go down to catalog, which is right below the 0 there, and go ahead and scroll through your catalog till you get to the D's. And I just want to make sure that if you want to see that correlation coefficient, hit diagnostic on. You're going to hit it one time and it pops up on your calculator, and you hit it a second time and it says done. And this is good. You'll never have to do that again unless your calculator batteries completely go out and your backup batteries go out. If that happens, it resets all the memory. But if you keep your calculator from going that low, then it should save your memory. Second thing is you have to go into the stat key area. Go hit the stat key. That's the little red button I just pressed. And when you edit, you have to put some data in there. You need two variables of data. So what I did is I just took an activity out of our book, and it has, it has a bunch of at Ford F-150s, and it shows the miles driven in list one and the resale cost in list two. Obviously, some of these cars are very different. Some of them are much nicer than others, but you know. So we've got the data here. Well, to make this short and sweet, if you want the regression line, it's very easy. You just hit the stat button again, and you will calculate this regression line. There's so many things you can do over here, like the one variable stats we used in the first chapter to find things like the mean, the median, the standard deviation. But if you go down farther, there's a number of regression lines, 4 through, gosh, I don't even know how many. There's a number of regressions, and actually 4 and 8 are the exact same, just in a different order. Now, for some reason in statistics, they like to write y equals a plus bx instead of y equals ax plus b. It doesn't matter which one you hit, okay? The number next to x is your slope. The number that doesn't have a variable is your y-intercept. So just double check and make sure you have the right list for your x and y values. Calculate it out. That's all well and good. You've got your formula. Not only that, but if you look here at R, it gives you the correlation coefficient also. So that should pop up automatically as long as your diagnostics are on. And that's how you get that line of best fit, that correlation line. However, we can do a little bit better. If you wanted to graph it, we can go up to stat plot and turn on one of these scatter plots. In my case, I just have to hit it on, turn it on. And you might even want to hit zoom and go to number 9, zoom stat, because that'll show you a nice bit of your data there. But here's the shortcut for getting your line onto this graph. Go to the y equals button. Make sure that whichever one of these y equals you want, clear it out. There's nothing else on there. So just go to y equals and clear it. Then you're going to press the variables key. This is not intuitively obvious, but hit the variables key. And now it should make sense. When you look at all of your options, number 5 down there says statistics. That seems consistent with what we're doing. Hit that. Then we want a regression equation. If you look at the top, there is the menus up there, and EQ stands for equation, and number 1 stands for regression equation. If you hit enter there, it's going to put that entire equation, all those decimal places, very accurate, into your calculator. So when you graph it, you have a line. So now you could trace the individual points on your graph by using the trace key, or you can press the up or down arrows, and now I can trace along that regression line too. Feel free to find any of the specific values by going right above trace to calculate. And if you want a specific value on that, you can just hit 5 and see what number you get, or you can hit 8 and see what number you get there, or even hit 25. Actually, most of these numbers are more like around 20,000, so that would show up better. But you can find exact values going right above trace. Hope this helps you out. These will be useful for getting your regression